Hey, this is Pranav here, and every week I break down a very strong, big idea of an expert, of a thought leader, of a founder, and I try to extract some good practices they have used, some interesting insights that we can all learn from as we craft our big ideas. Today we'll be talking about Michelle Warner's big idea, which is sequence over strategy. Now, if you don't know who Michelle Warner is, please go and check her out. She is incredible. I absolutely love consuming anything that Michelle puts out. I'm on her email list. I listen to the podcast episodes that she has been a part of, and I've learned so much from her. If you go to the website, Michelle says something to the effect of helps you build a tiny company that's built to last. So tiny is important here. So which goes to say that her work is more aligned for smaller businesses, for tiny companies that's built to last. So I don't think her work applies so much to, tech companies who want to grow at all costs and who want to exit soon. No, that is not the right audience for her. So she teaches tiny companies that are built to last and teaches them how to grow using relationships. That is what her promise is. Okay, her big idea, like I said, is sequence over strategy, and the way she explains it is that it is important to do things in the correct order than to do things correctly. I'm going to say it again because it's important. It's important to do things in the correct order than to do things correctly, which means that instead of obsessing over doing everything correctly, can we first agree on the correct order of doing that? Because that's apparently much more important than getting very finicky about each of those things. To give you like an example in the world of cooking, if you look at biryani, which is a South Asian delicacy, if you're making biryani, yes, you could obsess over the correct technique for chopping onions, or you could obsess over the correct technique for frying onions, or adding curd, or washing the rice correctly before it's cooked. You could obsess over all of that, but if you don't make the biryani in the correct order, none of that obsession is going to matter. The rice needs to go in at the right time, the curd or the yogurt needs to go in at the right time, the onions need to be added at the right time. The sequence matters more than obsessing about every single detail. And the same thing applies in a business. Many businesses fail because they focus on tactics and strategy without first considering the proper sequence of their actions, which is what Michelle is trying to change. And here is the part which I think is fascinating, because there is this like one major big idea, and then there is like a sub big idea which I want to talk about right now. Although I've written it as application of the big idea, it's sort of another big idea which comes under the main big idea of sequence over strategy, which is the whole continuum of relationships and traffic marketing. If you remember in the first slide, I said that she essentially helps you build a business that's built to last. Her focus usually is on relationships, and to explain this concept, she goes one step further from the big idea of sequence over strategy onto this big idea of relationship marketing versus traffic marketing. So according to Michelle, marketing exists on a continuum. On the extreme left you see relationship marketing, on the extreme right you see traffic marketing, and the mistakes that businesses make is that they don't know which marketing applies to them. So let's dig into what this looks like. Okay, so relationship marketing is typically deep marketing, so where depth is more important than width. In other words, getting the trust or generating deep trust within a select set of people, a few people, is much more important than reaching to too many people. It's usually high touch. The services that you offer are high touch. You would be getting on calls with your clients a lot. You would have email communication with them. You would have custom services for them. It's not like one service fits all. You customize the service for them. It's connection based because it's depth. You have to have a connection with your prospects for them to become your clients, and then typically it's a high cost service. It's a premium service. On the other hand, if you are selling something which is for the mass market, which is low touch, which is not really custom, right? And there are businesses like these. If you are selling soap, for example, you would probably need a lot of traffic marketing. Or if you're selling an online course, you would probably need a lot of traffic marketing, but you need to know which game you are playing. And so as far as relationship marketing is concerned, there are a few. This is not an exhaustive list, but there are a few ways to look at. Most powerful representation or expression of relationship marketing is referral. So if my existing clients refers me to someone else, that's like a very powerful expression of relationship marketing. Or maybe if I'm speaking at a conference, or maybe I'm guesting on a podcast, maybe if I am teaching a workshop at a particular community, All of these are forms of relationship marketing where depth is more important than width. If I'm selling high cost services to a few people as opposed to selling to a low cost service to a large volume. In traffic marketing, you have platforms like social media, you have email marketing, content marketing, and perhaps the most extreme would be mass emails, right? There is no need to get too caught up into these definitions. This is like a spectrum. Of course, there would be exceptions here and there, but broadly speaking, this is what the continuum looks like. And Michelle's point of view is that there is a mismatch between the relationship of the product or the service that they're selling and the type of marketing that they're doing. And that is happening precisely because they are not prioritizing sequence over strategy. They're so obsessed with doing the right Facebook ad. They're so obsessed with doing social media. Just because everyone else is doing email marketing, they're obsessed with email marketing and they want to do it right. They want to buy the correct software and they want to know the perfect timing of sending that email. But no one's really asking, hey, can we take a step back? Do we really need email marketing right now? Does my business need email marketing? Or does my business thrive on, let's say, podcast guesting because I sell a custom service, which is high cost? Those are the questions that people are not asking. They're skipping this one step of really connecting the business with the right type of marketing or connecting the product and service with the right type of marketing. And can we not do that? Can we please take a step back and can we please first look at the sequence with which we want to implement or the sequence of doing the right things? One of the things that has been growing on me is just the use of words or specific words that sound interesting together. So I don't know what it is about sequence over strategy. It is definitely there is alliteration. The letter S is being repeated. There is something about this word which is sticky. So if someone says to me that, hey, do you know this woman who talks about sequence over strategy, I would think of Michelle just because it's catchy, right? It's catchy, and just goes to show that okay, if you have a big idea, you need to put in some effort to make it a little sticky, to make it a little catchy. Now let's map this onto the 5-step big idea methodology that we have. The shared goal is that as a small business owner, you want to build a stable business that grows steadily. That's the shared goal. But how do we go about it? Well, to achieve this, we learn the best strategies and tactics and start implementing them. If they don't work, we try harder. We try to find more tactics. We try to find the best practices. We try to find a perfect marketing playbook just because we think we are not implementing the tactic correctly. But the problem with this approach is that this approach leads to throwing random tactics at problems without even understanding why something works and causes constant overwhelm because there are just 100 things you could do. It just becomes overwhelming if you don't understand the sequence. So the villain or the root belief here is that the quality of execution matters more than choosing the right actions in the right order. Okay, the villain, the root belief here, which is causing all the pain, is that the quality of execution matters more than choosing the right actions in the right order. This is a wrong belief that Michelle is trying to correct. Because this leads business owners to focus obsessively on perfecting tactics before determining if those tactics are even appropriate for their business model. And the big idea here is sequence over strategy. It's more important to do things in the correct order than to do things correctly. And if you had to apply the start stop statement that we have, well, it's stop perfecting strategies, start prioritizing sequence. One of my personal takeaways is this template of dash before dash, right? So if you have a big idea which challenges the sequence of things, right? If you have a big idea where you want to say that, hey, no, B doesn't come before A comes before B. This is a good framework for you to represent that idea. Developing IP and visual frameworks is powerful. That continuum in itself is like an excellent representation of the big idea. It's counterintuitive, it's bold. Literally everyone talks about the LinkedIn best practices or the best way to optimize your Facebook ad, but not Michelle. She's talking about something extremely counterintuitive and bold, which is what makes it stand out. It addresses a problem. It's something that I face. It's something that you have faced that, hey, I've been doing so much. I've been publishing on LinkedIn. I've been doing Instagram and blah, 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 and nothing is working. It is extremely easy to resonate with that problem simply because we have faced it. So a big idea addresses a problem and tells your audience that, okay, hey, if you accept this belief, if you accept this big idea, your life and your business will be better. And also the moment I heard Michelle's big idea for the first time and when I heard her expand on it, I just felt a sense of happiness. It was unburdening for me because, hey, yes, this is a mistake that I've been making. I was convinced. So please go check her out. You will have those moments of unburdening as well. All right. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks. Bye bye.